So the US has had PlayStation Now for a little while, but here in the UK, we've had to wait a little longer. However, last week I got myself in on the beta and had a look at what it has to offer. So, is PlayStation Now the answer? And if so, what was the question again? Okay, quick catch up for anyone unaware of what PlayStation Now is. Essentially, it's a service that allows any owner of a PlayStation system to stream entire games direct from the internet for a rental period, at a reduced cost to the price of a full game. Users can access an entire library of current PlayStation 3 titles for a period of either 2 or 30 days, and for that, get full access to the entire game's content, so long as they have the internet speed to cope with it. On the current beta I've been playing, there have been titles like The Wolf Among Us, Homefront, Killzone, Dead or Alive, F1, NBA, Beyond Two Souls, and many more. So renting games is nothing new. Back when I was growing up, me and my mates used to go down to the video store and rent games for a few days to see what they were like. It was cheaper than buying the full game, and allowed you to have more of a taste than the demo did, and usually just ended up with me getting my parents to buy me the game completely. So this is just doing the same job, right? Well, sort of. You see, the idea of fully digital rental is still something many companies are trying to figure out, and PlayStation Now is no exception. Some of the big questions we had when we first saw the product a couple of years ago still haven't really been answered. What's the pricing structure, and will it be a reasonable saving for the amount of game you're going to get? How will streaming the game affect how we play it? Will various types of games work better on the system than others? And who exactly is this system for? Having had the chance to use PlayStation Now for a few days, I think I can answer some of those questions. Firstly, the games. Well, as mentioned, there's a decent selection. Putting Sony's exclusive studios aside, PlayStation Now seems to have had good support from a number of companies already, with 2K, Codemasters and BioWare just some to have put their games on the service. As for how they play, well, it's pretty hit and miss. Games where timing and precision aren't key seem to work fine, particularly those with a narrative focus, or ones without the greatest need for processing power. Others, however, fare less well. It took at least a second to respond to any input in F1 2013, for example, a game where every second costs you valuable time throughout a race, and therefore the course of the game. The same goes for Dead or Alive 5. Any gamer with experience in fighting games knows the importance of immediacy in button response. It was sorely lacking on PlayStation Now. Ultimately, this seems like it requires a combination of faster internet and some more work on the part of Sony to make the game mimic the experience that we have on more traditional hardware. But I mean, we'll forgive it for this one. I mean, being able to stream games in itself is something impressive. What about costs? Well, the service isn't free to begin with. It costs $19.99 to subscribe for a month, which to me seems rather steep. I mean, if all the games on offer were free, you could say that was a good deal. But they aren't. Games can cost anywhere from a couple of dollars up to $20 for a rental period. I mean, for that price, I'd expect some free games. And if you think about it, with PlayStation Plus, you get those anyway. Now, as far as I'm concerned, you shouldn't have to pay for the service, particularly if you're a PS Plus subscriber. And it smacks to me of just being a bit of a money grab. I mean, paying for rentals is perfectly reasonable, but, well, let's put it this way. I never had to pay for my membership at the video store. So who is PlayStation Now for? Well, theoretically it's for everyone. The wide variety of games on offer suggests Sony are trying to maximise their target audience for the service, and entice as many gamers as possible to use it, regardless of what type of gaming experiences they prefer. But I don't see it that way. As I see it, the service works for hardcore gamers like you and me, who passionately follow games and know all about the latest releases. The service theoretically gives you the option to try a game before you play it, which means if you're not sure about a new title, you can spend a bit of money to test it first, before deciding to splash out on the full game. Alternatively, it allows you to go back into the archives and play a game you may have missed, or try something you've been considering, but never got around to playing before. But what about everyone else? What about those gamers who only ever buy 2 games every year, the new Call of Duty and the new FIFA? Well, I think Sony might be onto something here. You see, those gamers usually only play a couple of games every year for a few reasons. The price of games is one. The fact none of their mates are playing them too is also a factor. But just the fact a lot of games seem rather closed off to those type of gamers may also be an issue. The mid-core gamer, as I like to refer to them, don't buy games they don't feel comfortable with, and really only play the ones they hear about on TV or through their mates. But the idea of renting games, trying them out for a reduced cost first, might just entice some to break free from that comfort zone and delve further into the fantastic back catalogue of games Sony has. I mean, it might be wishful thinking, but PlayStation Now might just be part of an answer into getting more people interested in the wider gaming scene. My overall experience with PlayStation Now is actually a really good one. I learnt a lot about how the service is going to work and the benefits it can bring to anyone who owns a PlayStation. The fact that they are currently the only big player offering this kind of service could potentially be a really big advantage, just as long as they make the service work. Now, the pricing structure for me is just wrong, and I would much rather they take away the cost of the subscription service and increase the price of rentals. And I think that kind of thing might just drive people away from using the service at all. However, I managed to play and complete Beyond Two Souls in 2 days using just the service alone without any real issues. And I want to go back now, and actually I'm probably going to go and play some more after this. So yeah, PlayStation Now answers quite a few questions. Although why I play Beyond Two Souls isn't one of them.